Hello everyone, welcome to this full moon in Libra report. We have the full moon in Libra on the 16th of April 2022. It's in 11:54 Pacific time and 7:54 UK time. Now, this moon is called the pink moon. It's in Libra, which makes it beautiful that it's called a pink moon because Libra is governed by Venus, and Venus is the planet of love, which means it's in the energy of loving connection, of how our relationships are and things like that. Now, the moon is 26 degrees and 45 minutes Libra. It's going to bring things to a head because it is a full moon, right? It's going to do that regardless of what we do. Full moon, bringing things to a head, the illumination of things we haven't wanted to see, the pointing out of things where we need to release so we can move forward fully. Now, because it's in Libra, it's a balanced moon. It's asking us to balance. Now, I'm seeing this, not necessarily in the chart, because I read the chart, but I'm seeing this anyway. I'm seeing the masculine, feminine aspect, balancing it out. And it's also about balancing out our choices and our decisions and asking ourselves, what do we really want? Who do we really want to be? You see, with this Libran full moon, there's a lot of dream quality about it. It's about dreaming ourselves into the life that we want, right? Because Libra calls upon that. There is something dreamy about Libra, whether you realize it or not. It has this very dreamy element attached to it. It's a beautiful star sign. It kind of does encompass beauty. It encompasses new things. It's very interested in things. It can be indecisive. It can be confused, which is really funny because actually, as I wrote this report today and I did the chart, my chart was wrong. I had to redo the chart, and then I dropped it in water, and I was like, I really feel the energy of the Libra and deep energy of this kind of, I'm feeling a little bit confused, because that can be there with the Libra and star sign. Now, the interesting thing about the Libra and full moon being directly opposed the sun, which is Aries, it's interesting because Aries wants full, deep independence. Aries wants this independent, you making your own choices, doing your own thing, right? Whereas Libra is asking for harmony, relationship harmony. How can we connect with love? How can we be with love, right? So Libra wants all of that, right? Also, you know, it epitomizes us birthing new relationship. Libra wants us to birth a new way of relationship. Now, how I'm seeing this, because of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, what I'm seeing is, because of the Piscean energy, because that's what I'm seeing here, is that Libra's looking right now in relationship, and this is all relationship, it's looking for the element of harmony, of spiritual, deep relationships that nurture you, hold you, and love you. Libra's asking for that at the moment. It's drawing you towards that. Effectively, because we're in a full moon and it's about illuminating that which is, right? In that respect, they're very focused and very directional and very able, and they have a lot of justice within them, and they call to harmony, yet they can be that kind of flip-flop. It's the balancing of the scales, and it's struggle. And if you're in that Libra and star sign even, you've got to find that balance can be quite tricky. Libra's looking for that balance of beauty and harmony and peace. It wants that. And this is where we're being directed here, right? So we're being directed to the individuality of the Aries. So knowing yourself, knowing your mind, being yourself, right? And then connecting to that harmony of relationship, of being with the people, trusting in the people, reveling in that. Yeah? Remember, we're also in the speed energy of Aries that wants to get things done, get things moving, push forward. We're also within the energy of the direct planetary aspect. We're also then moving into the eclipse season, which is going to be bringing intensity, deep intensity. Going to start feeling things a little bit more. Look, we have been feeling things quite a lot up until now. But because of the energy of what's been, we should have released stuff that's no longer serving us. We should have. I can't say we have, because we're all individual aspects and we're all going to align to purpose in our own way, align to what we need to get rid of in our own way, right? So it's for you to recognize if you've done that work, because once that intense energy comes up, you're going to be pulled. Now, because Libra is the energy of the Venusian, loving aspect, it brings in the energy of the heart chakra. Hence, I did my heart chakra meditation. Not many of you came to, but it would have been really good for you, because we are stepping into the energy of the heart. We are opening ourselves up. We're opening ourselves up individually, globally, collectively and globally, right? We are opening ourselves up, whether we realize it or not. There is a kind of weird parallel. I mean, many moons ago, and when I was doing some intuitive work, I was told about this, and obviously I didn't know nothing about 2020 at that point. I knew nothing about what was about to herald. We're looking at the sort of late 90s, I think. I was thinking on these lines, and I was being told that there was going to be this polarity. There's going to be two parallel existences. There's going to be two ways of being, and we're kind of doing that at the moment. We're fusing two different elements, and they're not coming together, because I don't think they're going to. And here in these moons, in the Sun with Aries and the full moon with Libra, it's time to make a choice, to move into the choice. Time to start moving into what is harmony for us, what will equate to the life that we are going to feel comfortable with, right? Because it's exactly like I was saying about relationship, having relationships that honour you and feed you with love, as opposed to a relationship that doesn't. This is also going to apply to your life, which is having a life that loves, honours you and feeds you with love, so that you can move forward. That's really, really kind of key here. Very, very key, right? So, you know, with the Libran energy, we're being asked about how we're looking at the world, the beauties, the aesthetics. Libran's concerned with presentation, and it's very conscious of how it presents itself within the world at large and relationships. So connecting to that, because that's going to come up for you as well. So you may find that you want to spar a little bit within your relationship, or you may feel that you want to put it under the microscope, right? Fine, do that, yet be really frank with yourself. Is your relationship nurturing you, loving you, giving you what you need? And this isn't to say, like, leave your relationship and run away from it. No, this is to say, find a way to create the harmony in your life that it deserves. This is what Libra's asking of you. This Libran full moon is asking you to drop that which no longer works, so release it, so kind of like burn it away, okay? Because you've got the Aries fire energy, or so you're going to burn it with that Aries sun element, and then you're going to allow the Libran air to lift it up and send it away into the ether, so it's gone, so it's no longer part of your makeup, so that you can move into a more directional space of being. And this is in all relationships. So this is relationship with your intimate partners, in relationship with your family, relationship with your friends. And it's about knowing who serves you and who doesn't, and being really strong and wise enough to release that which doesn't work for you. So be honest, be frank, and really open yourself up to honest communication here as well, okay, in relationship, right? Because loving communication creates loving relationship, and that's what Libra wants. It wants that loving, deep, warm relationship, right? You know, remember the pink moon, think of pink spirituality, and that's like I was saying already, Libra wants a spiritual relationship. It wants the energy of the heart, the fusing of the pink, the light energy. It wants that protective energy around it. It's asking for that, and it's asking each of us to step into that, to fuse and play with that, right? You know, it's also about connection. It's also about fairness, because this is Libra, because it wants fairness, it wants balance, it wants equilibrium, it wants justice. It kind of links to the law, right? It wants us to be articulate in that expression of that. It's also moving us because of the nature of it, because of the nature of this moon, because of the nature of the planets, because of the nature of what's happening. It's moving us into the higher realms and the understanding of other people on the level of these higher realms, okay? And it's asking us to hold a mirror up to ourselves, so that we understand that what we're seeing in the world is what we're putting out into the world, and what we're receiving back is what we are putting out into the world. It's about knowing that mirror, knowing the mirror, understanding the mirror. Now, I'm going to say something here because I think it's quite important. Now, please remember that it's not all mirror work. because I get lots of things with my clients about this question where they say, but then she came at me and she said all this stuff and it really made me feel uncomfortable, but I don't think that's myself. And maybe it isn't yourself, because sometimes you're going to draw energy to you when someone just needs to let off steam, or you might draw energy to you of someone being angry at a bus stop. It doesn't necessarily mean it's you. That doesn't necessarily mean it's you. So be careful to understanding your mirror and understanding what the mirror actually means, because I think that can be quite a difficult one for people, that understanding of how the mirror plays out. The mirror is about your situations, experiences, and how something works within your framework. So if the perception of it actually affects you and causes a change within you, then you need to look at it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're doing. So be really careful of that, okay, because it's not always a mirror. I think that's really important to say, because so many people think that it is, and then they start to think it's them, and they're going to blame and shame, and that's not going to work here. That's not going to work. Not with balance and equilibrium. Blame and shame will just stop you. It will stall you, and it will just be ineffective in truth, right? Because it will mean that you can't make those steps forward, right? So that's very, very key, right? Now, remember that because Libra is ruled by this beautiful Venusian planet of love, there's creativity there, there's beautiful potential, stepping into the potential of what we love, creating what we love, in fact creating love. And that's kind of going to come up through that, right? Now keep coming back to enjoying deep relationships, keep coming back to relationship harmony here, because it will really help you. So I want to speak a little bit to the fact that we're in the 26 degrees, which is the 8 if you add 6 and 2, right? Now that is about, it's a numerological number of power and strength, okay? I also link it to monetary stuff as well. So kind of look into those areas. What's coming up for you around power, strength and money and financial issues. So look at that on an individual's aspect. You may even notice that globally, collectively, the world stage may kind of reflect a bit of that power, strength, economy, because of the nature of this actual full moon, right? So now remember that Libra, in fact, interestingly, as I say this, it comes to my attention, Aries is where we've got the sun and Libra is where we've got the moon. They're both cardinal signs. So really, really tap into that, because that's your leadership potential, your ability to move forward, to lead. And I'm seeing this as leading yourself with the Aries sun, and leading yourself into that harmonious aspect to create a deeper, more fused life, more loving life, a life full of potential. You see, because the people we surround ourselves with and the energy that we give rise to is the energy that then plays out in our lives, right? It really is important to really recognize that, to step into that, right? So I want to talk a little bit about Pluto. Its powers being highlighted here in this chart, right? There is a tight T-square, okay? You know, there could be power issues, right? Kind of a depth of being pulled down. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. A little bit of, you know, when full moons come up, there's always a kind of sense of madness. I don't know if you've ever known about this. There was a book I read when I was a child. It was called Moonstruck Madness. It was like the moon pulls us out of our centre. The full moons kind of remove us from this ability to think rationally. And there's kind of a bit of that going on, okay? The thing with Pluto is it moves through signs. It tends to highlight the shadow aspect of that sign. So with the Capricorn energy here, it's about us digging deep within, right? It's about us finding our honesty, our genuineness, right? I kind of see, the thing with Pluto is it's linked to kind of that Scorpio energy, that sort of secretive, sort of hiding things energy. And so I would say that, like I said before about what might come up, this may bring up some of that sort of energy, right? That secretive, something that's been held back might come out because of the illumination of the moon. But you know, it's just to watch out for, because we've had so much of that over the last few years. I think we've all become a little bit sort of I don't know, kind of averse to it. Not even averse, sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like we've all been sort of like shocked into sort of like somnambulism in a way, kind of like we're not affected by it anymore. We become so used to it, we're just not aware of it anymore, and it doesn't seem to be really affecting any of us, if I'm truly honest. What else do I want to say? I mean, come on, there's so much going on here. It's like, it's about power, like, I suppose. I was saying about that power before. I would say kind of look, I mean, look, this is globally as well as intrinsically, individually. Yeah, I'd still say look at yourself, right? Go within. And when you go within, and I know when I say this, I know I've been saying it a lot over the last few reports, right? About self-regulation, taking your power, being in your own power, you know, really cleaning up your solar plexus energy, which is quite integral to this, right? And, you know, living from your own core values and your own core systems. Because in my mind, this is the time to do it. This is definitely the time to do it. Because we are moving into kind of a new energy field, a new world, a new life. Look, I don't know where we're going just as much as the next person doesn't. I've got the intuition, I've got the messages from the angels. They give me a little bit at a time, not a big framework of what's going on. But what they do say is that we're moving into a deep change, and humanity is going to be living in a very different way to what we've ever seen before. But it's to trust in that, but we need to make our choices. So we need to know where we're going. And I'm hoping that from the other reports and the other, what you've listened to, that you've kind of grabbed hold of that and you've started releasing what no longer serves you, so that you can move into the choice that you're going to make, because it's really, really important. Also, the angels are saying to tell you, they are going to be bringing through a report, which is going to be the quarterly report. I'm a little bit late on it because I've been attempting to get it together. They keep giving me more information, and I really want it to be quite key and clear, because we are in a year of great expansion and change, and we're trying to move away from that contraction that we've been so used to, right? And so the energy that they're bringing through is to help us with that, to give us the keys and the codes and the understandings so that we can move through that. So do check that out when it comes out. You can hit the notification bell on my channel, and then that will give you a message of when that's come out, so then you'll know. So that'd be really good if you want to do that. Also, I've been getting this energy of like Kali, the goddess, the Hindu goddess. Kali Ma was quite strong, potent energy, or she is quite a strong, potent energy, right? And she brings through this element of destroying something to build it back up. And this is kind of, we're still in that energy a little bit. And it's the energy of maybe protesting, maybe there'll be clashes. It's still kind of there a little bit. I mean, obviously we've got that because we've got stuff going on in the world that is clash worthy, and it's to notice that that's happening. But then I see it in an individual aspect of destroy the parts of you. Destroy is probably a tough word. Okay, allow the areas of you that are broken and not working to burn away. Allow the fiery element of Aries to burn them away, and allow the air energy of Libra to let it fly out of your system and move. Very, very key here. I'm seeing that as very, very key, because it's going to help you to hone into you. It's also going to help you with relationship, because this is what this is. This is about doing the right thing so that relationship. Now, I'm seeing this collectively and globally as well, actually. So this is relationship on a broad scale. How do we want to interact with each other? How are we going to be with each other? What kind of humanity are we creating here? What kind of humanity are we going to be, right? So Pluto is trying the North Node. That kind of brings us into that collective that I was talking about. Where's it going? And that, like I was saying, they're very linked. The individual and the collective kind of linked. It's almost as if we're being called to choose the arena we want to be in. That's kind of how I'm seeing this right now, right? So I'm seeing the simplistic, beauty, Gaia, nature element, but then I'm also seeing this robotic, technological age. Which side? It's not like you have to choose a side here, but it's almost like the two are not necessarily going to be harmonious with one another. That's kind of where I'm, okay, they're saying something to me, actually, angels are. They're saying what this is is about understanding which level of interaction you want with the elements, those two elements, right? Find the right element for you and live that way, because it's always about your personalized aspect, it's always about your personal choice, and it's always about you connecting to the deepest part of you that's going to give you the life that you deserve and the one you came here to live, right? So I want to bring us to energy. See, energy is playing a huge part here, and I'll explain a little bit more why that's happening in the next part, but now let's just think about energy. What are you doing with yourself at the moment? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you connecting to? Who are you mixing with? All of these things are really part of the cleansing process, because you're in a cleansing process, whether you realize it or not. We all are. And some of us will cling to it, and that's fine. That's what you're going to do. It's what you're going to do. Everybody needs to make their own decision here, right? Yet, what I'm seeing is that this is a detoxification. It's time to rest where you need to, so you can cleanse where you need to, and so you can open yourself up to the higher knowledge, the energy that's available to you. Now, interestingly, if you watched my live reading for April, which is on this channel, you can have a look at it if you want to, I talk a lot about this and what we're needing to do to move into the harmonious aspect, right? So the cards that came up literally told this story, and the story was, we're oversensitive at the moment, sensitive to the people we're around, sensitive to the things that we're absorbing, sensitive to the things we're using, and it's about really cleaning that up. So if the news is doing your head in, stop looking at it for a while. Have detoxes. Have 2 weeks where you don't look at it. And for some of you that might be too much, right? Fine. Have 3 days where you don't look at it. Come on, you can do this. Because, you see, it's like it almost strangles us. The energy of negativity strangles our field. And I'm being asked by the angels to say, with love to all of you, if you can step into an energy field that's higher and more of love, you're not going to feel this so much. So kind of disconnect yourself from the energy that's putting you in that space, putting you in that negative vibe that makes you feel uncomfortable. So we're moving into a new energy field with the Uranus-Mercury conjunction. You know, it's about how are we thinking, what's coming in for our future. It kind of taps into that intuitive element, aha moments, new beginnings. Can we go back to where we once knew, that old knowledge, bring that forward, and then refine from that space? You see, a lot of our information that we require is already there. So if we kind of tap into it, then we can rise through it and we can create more from it. And that's individually as well as collectively and globally. It's quite a big messenger, that one, actually. The fact that everything we need is actually already there. Even the understanding is already there. It's just that we tend to remain quite closed to the knowledge that's available to us. But that's not to say that some people aren't seeing it or knowing it. That's to say, how do we step into that, and where are we going to put ourselves so we can open ourselves to that, right? So, you know, because of this whole, we are so in a good, there is a good energy here, because there's the Venus element, the Piscean element, that beautiful warm elemental, sort of warm, spiritual, drawing together, bringing us together. You know, a lot of high energy, a lot of high fire, because the sun is fiery. It's giving us that higher energy. It's giving us that deeper potential, right? Now, I get the impression that there's just a shift happening here. Well, the angels are saying there's the shift, and that shift is a frequency shift. It's kind of moving us into a deeper aspect. Now, this comes up because also we've got the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, right? Which is going to connect everyone to this greater understanding of where we're going, what we're doing, how are we feeling, right? And because remember, like, Neptune rules water, right? It's that watery element. But water also opens us up to being able to see. And yes, it can be cloudy, yes, it can be murky, but water can also be clear, and it can give us that new inspiration, that new direction, that new focus, that new deep understanding. And it's about you, me, everybody, the collective, connecting to a higher spiritual understanding of our own inner nature. Remembering what Leo, not Leo. I told you I was crazy today. Remembering what Libra wants. Libra wants beautiful relationship, spiritual harmony, and deep access to love. It wants that. It wants that so much, right? So, you know, focus on the sun in Aries to make things happen, and then move into this understanding of how love's going to look for you. And this is love, heart love, for the world, for the people you mix with, for your intimate connections, and for yourself. So this moves through all of it. So with the Aries Libra togetherness, the opposition, and that drive to understand, what's being created is a way to be individualized and connected. Yeah, got it? Because that's beautiful, and it will really bring you into a higher level of change in your life. It will also make you feel so much better, because it really will, because it will fuse you to the truth. It will help you to reconcile your life, where you're going, and even the global, what's happening in the world stage. It will help you to reconcile all of it, because your reconciliation with yourself reconciles you with all of it, everything, with the potentiality, with the world at large, right? Also, I do want to say something. This is just something of my own, which I wanted to share with you. Some of you may be getting past life memory recall. Please get a notebook and write it down, or speak a dialogue into your phone recorder, right? Take the messages, because these past life memory recalls are going to help you to heal things within your body that may be stopping you moving forward. Because a lot of our body issues that we get can be linked to things that happened to us in past lives. So were you maimed in a past life, and then did you end up falling on something and getting the gash they meet in your side? Maybe in another life you were actually stabbed there, for example. And it's quite strong, I know, but this is the thing, we're going back to times when this kind of thing happened, right? So do tap into that. You may be finding your dreams as well becoming really vivid and showing you things, and maybe write some of those down, because they will be bringing you something that you need to understand, you need to tap into. Like, so for example, for me, I've got some old issues within my old life, my past, not past life as in past lives, as in this life, but the past. And being able to release them has been quite difficult. And I keep dreaming about the issues, about the people involved. And I've realised now it's because I've got to clean it up. I've got to clean it up to move forward. So to move into this new harmonious Libran element and to balance those scales, each one of us needs to kind of pull away from anything within our past that's kind of still tethering us to old thoughts, beliefs and systems, right? So to wrap up, think about how this impacts in your inner world, and then the way you perceive the world outside, okay? Think about the fact that this is about harmonious world, harmonious relationship, harmonious you. I tap this also back into your body system. So harmonious body system. What do you need to do to take care of this vessel, the vessel that you're living in, the vessel that you're residing in? What needs to happen to bring in that true loving aspect, that true loving, balanced, harmonious, together nature? Be careful of the indecision of Libra. Now, with that indecision, I wanted to point something out. Libra energy and the energy of this full moon is asking you to make a choice and to move towards that choice. One choice. Make one choice. If you have two, you have two. No more than two, though, because the Libran energy cannot deal with lots of spinning plates. So what will happen is you get lots of spinning plates. They're just going to crash down, because the Libran energy will get indecisive and confused, and then it won't be able to pick a plate. It won't be able to make those choices. So step into the energy of knowing the things that you're going to do and only doing those things, and giving yourself that space to make those good and to build on those, and then build on those. That would work, because what Libra wants you to do is move through harmony, harmoniously moving through these choices, harmoniously moving through life. Take this now, because there's coming change in the next few months with the next new moons and full moons. Change is coming. So take this now. This is the point to get yourself in balance. This is the point to go into your heart. If any of you are interested in the heart chakra meditation that I did do on the 10th of April, do let me know, because I am going to be making that available soon. So yeah, do let me know about that, because it was good. It was good, and I think it can help you step into that energy, to fuse with that energy. And it worked on not just you, it worked on a collective idea, and brought that heart space out and gave that strength to those that did it. So yeah, I would, if you're interested, like I say, let me know, because it's going to be available soon. Yeah, so it's time to step into the freedom. Step into your freedom. Your freedom. What's freedom for you? What's freedom going to look like for you? How's that want to be for you? Libra's going to highlight freedom all the time. It's always going to highlight freedom, because that's the energy. It's cardinal, it's windy, it's air sign, it's floating all around, but it needs that freedom, because it needs that movement. It needs that movement. It needs that movement, right? And then you've got that Aries energy, which is like the phoenix that rises out of the ashes, that wants to do everything now and get it all done, because it's known what it's known, and it's suddenly got deliverance. And there's that as well. So kind of tap into that and really open yourself up to that, because that's going to really help you on a much higher level and a much higher vibration as well. And that's the other thing, just before I go, remember that we're moving into a deeper spiritual frequency. You can have this if you want to have this frequency. You can be a part of it. You can connect to the higher energy, that angelic frequency, that deeper aspect. You can do it. It's just that you've got to open yourself up, and you've got to open your heart up, and you've got to open yourself up to expanding your whole being to move into this energy, okay? It's going to be a high quality energy. It's going to move us out of this old seeing, thinking, do kind of way. It's going to move us along. Now, of course, like with anything, what you perceive in the world may not be what I'm talking about. Did you know, and maybe you didn't, but I'm sure all of you do, because you were watching me, right? Each one of us, and the perception and the world that we're experiencing, is the one that we are perceiving. It's us. We are the single most important factor in it. We are the only single most important factor on it, because the common thing is always ourselves. It's always us. It's always here. We're always with ourselves. It doesn't matter whether there's other people within that, because it's always you. It's always you. So yeah, do this, step into that balance. Harmonious relationships, beautiful love aspect, gentle, kind. Step into that pink energy. That pink energy will really, really lift you up. In fact, when I did that heart meditation, the energy was about that pink and the green. There was a fuse of green, but mostly that pink energy, that awakening to that truth. That pink moon energy, the Libra in full moon, bringing in that love, bringing in that harmonious element. So yeah. So guys, thank you so much. If any of you would like a reading with me, I am an intuitive, and I channel angels, and I talk to and bring through messages through them. I can also bring through messages from your guides. I work on the level of ask a question, ask me questions, and I'll work to those questions. I'll bring through messages that they're willing to give you, and I'll help you to work out where you're going. I also sometimes use tarot. I sometimes use oracle cards, normally at the request of my readers or spirit, depending on what the angels and spirit want. So I can do that for you too. I am deep readings, and I can bring through the angelic realms in order to work out what's going on for you. Most of what I do is about purpose, direction and focus, and it's bringing you forward and looking at the things that are being difficult within your life so that you can build them up. So yeah, I do offer those. If you're interested, all my handles are down in the notes. But for any bookings, just go to www.selfloveselfcaresystem.com and you can make a booking, and you can get to meet me, and we can have a one-on-one, and we can talk about anything that you'd like to. Anyway, darlings, thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure to do these readings for you. I know this one's been particularly strange because I've just been a bit up in the air. I'm a bit all Libra and all over the place. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. I love Librans. They are balanced, beautiful, harmonious. They're very giving, and they're very forgiving, and they're very loving. I do love my beautiful Libra friends, which most of my friends are. Anyway, darlings, take care of yourself. Namaste. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the week and month, and I will see you soon. Take care. Mwah! Lots of love. Bye bye.